Hello, my name is Jaime, and what can I say? This message is for current members that have originally formed your particular state group when I created these state groups within Telegram for Alphonso Faggiolo back about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe going on 2 years, whatever. Anyway. And I had come, I'm going to give you a little background so you understand where we're going. I had come in to know him or of him, listening to Christopher James out of Canada, a great patriot, really great, doing a lot of stuff to free us all, so to speak. Okay. And he had Alphonse on there for an interview or whatever, podcast, and that Alphonse loves doing podcasts. Anyway, and so what I did was I found Alphonse and got in contact with him, so to speak, and that I found his website, I found his YouTube channel, and I found his Telegram groups, and started to look at all of that, and joined his Telegram group. And sure enough, just like in all Telegram groups practically, especially Telegram groups that are there to help people in legal matters, lawful matters, court matters, etc. And started to listen to his videos in relation to what to do and all of that, whether it's a traffic ticket or whether they're coming after you because you didn't paint your shutters and your grass is too long, and therefore they want to fine you if you don't fix your shutters and cut your grass and paint your house or whatever. And what I saw right away in his Telegram groups was that there was no organization. It was chaos. Now that's not unusual. That's in every single group. Today you can go for Bonds for the Win and many other groups, and you'll find that they have chaos in their Telegram groups because there's no organization that really as to what to do with all these members. And so anyway, so first of all, he didn't have Alphonso did not have any organization whatsoever in the Telegram groups. It was one group. Everyone joined through there, and everyone's it's a hodgepodge. Everybody's asking questions and this, that, whatever, and most people aren't getting questions answered. I remember myself. I asked people if there were people in Oklahoma or in North Carolina or in Florida, where I'll have three places where I'll be living at different times of the year, and you can't get responses. And that goes for many groups. Okay, it's not just his at that time. And so I'm a guy who is very much into organization, administration, and management. And I said, man, if this thing, and listening to Alphonse on his video teachings whatsoever about what to do in court, this, that, and whatever, all he was saying was, oh, how he wants to see his method of coming against these corrupt judges, politicians, that he wanted to see, groups established in every single county in the United States. I understand there's over 30,000 counties, okay? So whatever. So I can tell you right now, to this date, he's got no groups. He can talk about all the groups he wants to see to get his dissemination of his paperwork everywhere so we can kick ass. And still, he's now the Telegram groups, and he's got no freaking organization after 2 years of whatever, more or less, or maybe a little more that he's had them. It's bullshit. His statement that he wants to see his stuff in every single county in the United States. Bullshit, anyway. So anyway, before that happened, before I realized that it was bullshit, I approached him on Telegram, said, hey, listen, I'd like to talk to you about organizing your Telegram groups, about organizing your YouTube channel, which if you go there to his YouTube channel today, it's still in disarray. He hasn't done any organization. All the videos are just, the teachings are just thrown in there. There is no playlist. There's nothing. I mean, it's crap. And so I told him, I said, look, I want to organize your YouTube channel so that people, go there. You got your YouTubes in order, this, and he said, go for it. So I did, but I couldn't do it on his YouTube channel because he wouldn't give me his access to it. So I said, the hell with it, no big deal. I'm just going to do it on my YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, I organized all his videos based on topic. And they're still there, which I'm not considering just taking them off. I just don't need that, okay? And as I and so I did that. I did that with the YouTube channel, and then I wrote to him and said, listen, you talk about wanting to have, you know, disseminate your info, your documents and procedures and this, that, how you do things to every county in the United States. I said, well, listen, let me help you in your Telegram groups by me starting up state groups for every state. And then you can start getting your membership to join based on what state they live in. And then later on, we'll take it and divide it into areas within the state. We'll see what we do then. But let's get the states organized. And he wrote back and saying, yeah, sure thing, man. Great idea. Go ahead and do it, man. Go for it. And so I did. And I wrote to him many times asking him, what do you want me to call these groups? How do you want me to call them? And I waited almost 2 weeks and still no answer from him. Now, at that time, and I don't know if he still is associated with Randy Kelton, but I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, you know, and nothing. So I'm going, I got to name these something. So I named them Alphonse, and Randy and him were very close, and from what I could pick up. And I know Randy from the 1990s, so, you know, Randy knows me also. And so I called them, you know, Faggiolo / Kelton groups, I believe, back then. And then I started to do the states and all that. And then he jumped on me because I used his name. And Randy didn't like it either, but he didn't jump on me. He was just, hey, Jaime, do me a favor and don't put my name on it, okay? You know, and I said, okay, fine. I took it off. But Jolo comes and don't put my name on it and give you authorization. I said, hey, look, I said, I asked you for 2 goddamn weeks, you know, to give me what do you want me to call these, and you don't respond. So I had to call him something. Don't know what to call him. So, you know, I mean, he was just went freaking crazy, okay? And oh, you know, I don't want, you know, the government out there, you know. Well, listen, you know, if you got the right paperwork and all that, you get the government, they can come after you all they want. But if you know what you're doing in the courts, you know, you can kick their ass. You know, just like Robert Fox did for many years. They kept coming after Robert, and he kept winning in federal court every time until finally he was just so overburdened with stress from the attacks, continued that he died just a few years ago. He died. He was a great patriot. I talked to Robert many, many times. He was out of Texas. I love the man. I mean, just totally dedicated to restoring this country to the republic and the judicial courts and all that to what they should be. But anyway, so went there. And then finally, what happened is people started to join the groups. We let it out that the groups have been formed and a list of how to join your state and this, that. And people started to join them. And that was the purpose, okay? So they could, you know, do the paperwork locally. And, you know, because the paperwork, you have to adapt it, especially if it's got statutes, laws. You got to adapt it for your state. You got to substitute the law in New York, find the same law in Oklahoma, but it's going to be different number and this, that, so you got to substitute it and blah, 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 and so on. You got to do the same thing for every state. And so people started to do that. They started to join the states and all that. And I think at one time we had it up to almost 1,000 members between all of the states in Washington, D.C. And then what was happening was people were kind of starting to talk within each other and help each other with Alphonse's documents and all that. And what Alphonso noticed was that people weren't coming to him for help as much because they were all working together. Now that's the purpose of the groups. But Alphonse is the narcissistic son of a bitch. Oh, his ego is up here. He is God on the throne. Let me tell you something. I mean, when it comes to narcissistic son of a bitch, this guy is it. Okay, can't put it any other way. Okay. And all of a sudden he started attacking the groups when he saw they were drawing away from the attention he was getting. And so he told me he wanted me to cut the groups off. And then to all of the Telegram members, he accused me of forming these groups without permission, authorization from him. But see, the thing is, I had the chat that I had with him. I had it, etc. And I had copied it, okay, in case he deleted it. And I showed it to the whole group that the son of a bitch was lying, that he never authorized me, never given permission for me to form the groups to help him and all that. So he was caught in lies. I mean, the guy is a liar, and more than just that, okay? And so I said, to hell with this. I don't need this crap in my life. And so I stopped working on the groups. And then all of a sudden, people started to contact me that had, how do you call it, confrontations with him. And what I found out was that people had researched him somewhat, and they had found out that he had 9 traffic, criminal violations, DUI, okay, I believe is one of them, and other stuff. And so we started to basically go head to head to Alphonse for him to produce documentation in court cases, whether they were someone else's or his own, showing that individuals had used his documents from point A all the way to Z, showing that his documentation, legal documents, etc., whether motions, pleadings, or whatever, that they worked. Oh boy, if you talk about going getting on his wrong side, he refused to produce any. To this day, and it's been over, I guess, about a year and a half when I disassociated myself from this guy, and so therefore I just let it go, and he refused. I don't think today, if you happen to be associated with him, you need to ask him to produce documentation showing that his paperwork, to give the gab, you can, blah, 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 all you want. You got to be able to walk the talk. Okay. He wouldn't produce it back then. Nothing. Not something, paperwork that someone had done for their own case using Alphonse's paperwork. No production. In his own case of his traffic violations, which, he talks about traffic court and all that in his videos and all that, but he wouldn't produce it. Now, understand, these are public documents. These aren't court sealed or whatever you want to call it. These are public documents. There's no reason why you can't produce it. I think because personally, since he wouldn't produce it, that his paperwork for himself didn't work. In other words, he was full of bullshit. Okay. And so therefore he wasn't going anywhere and he couldn't show it because he couldn't win. That's simple. Okay. And so, and I'm going to send this video to Alphonso. So let's see if he produces a case, one case, where he takes it from A to Z, showing his documents. I don't think anybody's ever seen it. That's for sure. But anyway, so enough of him. That's it. Okay. And I'm going to take you really quickly here, and just so you see, he's been written up by other patriots in relation to this. But let me show you this one here. Okay, and here we are. This one here, where one guy had did a little bit of research on him and found that Alphonse has got 9 counts of crimes through traffic violations and no wins. No one can find any documentation from what I've researched showing that he has ever won a court case utilizing his own documents for himself or for someone else. That plain and that's simple. Okay. And since I'm going to be sending this to Alphonse, okay, I'll say, Alphonse, prove that your paperwork works. Show us documentation. Okay, and that plain and simple. Okay, so I'll keep moving. So anyway, so these groups were originally for him, but now I am with a constitutional law group whose name is Constitutional Law Group, and they have a Telegram group and all that, and I approached them, and I know the guy. His name is Rick Martin, and he does have paperwork showing that his stuff works. We definitely know 100% of wins and all that kind of stuff. Even in his own cases, he has won. And so what a difference. Okay. So again, when I found out about him through Bonds for the Win, who I originally approached with organizing their Telegram groups, but they turned me down. Their state administrator for North Carolina basically told me to shove it, wasn't interested and all that. So okay, no big deal. But then I had come across Rick Martin through Bonds for the Win because Mickey Clan had mentioned him and put him, and that they were associated somehow. So I went there to his website and found him, and then I found he had a Telegram group, and so I went to Rick's Telegram group, and then it turns out that I know Rick from back. Him and I had talked or communicated back in the 1990s, okay, or early 2000s, definitely. But anyway, and so I before I actually got with one-on-one with him, I talked to his major national administrator for his groups and told him told her, Michelle's her name, what I wanted to do. And she loved it. And so she put me together with Rick. We had a chat right there on Telegram, and he loved it. He said, go for it. And the difference between Rick and Alphonse is very much, Rick's not about ego. He's not a narcissist. He's not about, oh, I'm the goddamn king. Don't you screw with me. Okay, like Alphonse, you know, Alphonse, man, he sucks off that blood from being put on the throne himself. Okay, there's no question about it. Okay, Rick is not like that at all. And he said, Jaime, do it. And sure enough, I've renamed all of the original 50 plus Washington, D.C. that I had done for Alphonse to the constitutional law group. And I've also expanded it to include congressional districts into every state, and it's working. I've stopped the spam. Won't go into how I did it without using a bot. I've stopped the spam into the groups of political stuff and this, that, and whatever. I stopped it without using bots, folks. Okay, you just got to know. Okay, and that's because my gift is in administration, management, organization. And so we now have all of the congressional districts done for every state. We've got every state done, and what's really nice is that Rick basically had not done much to grow his group. He's a little bit right around 500 members, and this is perfect because now we're getting this organized in such a way that we're not going to start very soon with an enrollment drive. Okay, now Rick does a lot. Everything, traffic tickets and all this stuff, blah blah blah. But where he's at is into the bonds and filing claims against the bonds, filing criminal complaints and going after the sheriffs that they don't honor and this, that, and everything. I mean, he does basically what Bonds for the Win does. As a matter of fact, for those who are not aware, Bonds for the Wind and also Peggy Hall, they use practically all of Rick's paperwork documents, which is fine. Rick loves it, you know. And he doesn't even get credit. No other group that uses Rick's paperwork even gives credit that and tells people that they're using Rick's paperwork, which I personally feel. Rick doesn't care, but personally, where I come from is that if you're using somebody else's paperwork, you know, you should give them credit. And, you know, and not make it appear as if it's your own paperwork that you did it. That's not cool with me. Okay, a workman, someone who spent the time is worth the recognition. They've earned it. And so, but anyway, don't want to go there. So anyway, what's going to happen here is this message is going out to everybody in the groups, the original Alphonse members in each state, to let them know that I need to know whether you want to go ahead and stay with the group and become a part of constitutional law group. But then what I need from you is, in case I don't have it, is not, but let's just say I need to know your state. I need to know your constitution, your congressional district, and what county you're in, so that we can process you correctly and get you hooked up in the local, for your local grassroots. Something that no matter what Alphonso said that he wanted was a freaking lie. He doesn't want that at all because it detracts from people bowing before him. That's simple, okay? And so everybody that's getting this, I say, if you're in Alphonse's groups, take this video and freaking post it into his Telegram group, because people are going to get hurt with using Alphonse's. You know, he goes in there that you don't have to go into his in a court. You can just use his paperwork and it does all the for you. I got news for you. You're going to end up with two deputies or two policemen coming to your door and arresting you for failure to appear or to contempt of court or both. And let me tell you something. Faggiolo is not going to be there to get your ass out. Okay, you better know how to handle yourself when you get arrested. Okay, and I'm going to say that 99% of you do not know what to do when they come with an arrest warrant. You do not know what to ask that sheriff or police officer. You're not going to know what to ask them in documentation that they need to provide you, that they must have in order to arrest you. It's not just the arrest warrant. They need more than that, and it has to be attached to that arrest warrant. And 99% of arrest warrants, search warrants, do not have that. But people don't know, they're ignorant. And so all they do is they let them into the house, they let themselves be arrested, and it was a defective search warrant, defective arrest warrant, etc. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. I know how to handle that if they come to my door, so I'm not concerned. But anyway, so you need to let me know. I'm going to give the members here of former that are still in the groups, but had joined when they were created for Alphonse. I'm going to give you about 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, somewhere in there, to let me know that you want to stay and now be part of constitutional law group. And I'll get your process. You need to go to the website. You need to look at it. You need to see. You need to let me know. And if you don't want to, that's fine. And if I don't hear from you, that's fine. I'm just going to remove you. And I won't ban you. You can always join in the future. I just need to remove you because I know that you're not there to be, actively involved to some degree, even if it's 15 minutes a day involved in the groups, in our groups. Then what can I do with you? Nothing. Yeah, I can't do anything for you. You can't do anything for me, for the membership, for people in your local area. You can't do nothing. So you're a waste. And I myself, I don't like to, mix with waste, waste company, it's that simple, especially in these times where, the deep state is coming full force out in the open, and we're coming out full force open. And again, constitutional law group is it's about destroying the deep state cabal at the local level, then state, and then federal, in that order. Okay. And so let me know whether you're in and out. Members, current members who joined here in the last 3 weeks and had nothing to do with Alphonsus that are need to also provide me with their state, if I don't have it already, their state, their congressional district in their county. And I have members that have joined the constitutional law group in the last 2 weeks that we have pleaded, asked, begged for that information. And we're 2 weeks and we still don't have it. Well, in about 3 weeks, maybe 2, but 3 weeks definitely, we're going to start removing members who have not supplied us with that information, because there's no need to keep you. If you, for example, we ask you to add us to your phone contacts, because if you don't, we can't put you into a state group. We can't put you into a congressional district. We can't put you into a county. We can't put you into anything because Telegram won't let us, because you didn't add us to your contacts. And we've been asking for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you still don't do it. So, probably by the middle of April, we're going to start removing members of congressional, of a constitutional law group that have failed and continue to not respond to our request for what we need in order to process you. So I want you to know that it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So anyway, I want everybody to be active. I want the previous members from Alphonso, and in Alphonso's group, we were at one time about 1,000 people. We're down now, I think, between 100 to 200 that are still there in the 50 states. But I hope that you stay with us. Definitely, I hope that you do stay with us. It's going to be great. We're going to be active. We're going to be there. We're going to be all. We're going to go after these officials going against their bonds, filing claims against their bonds and/or insurance. We're going to be filing criminal complaints at the judicial level, local level, with the sheriff, etc. We're going. Many of them don't even have oaths of office, which makes them totally their position invalid, illegal, unlawful. Wow. Okay, but if you don't come after them, etc., we're going to go after all these pigs that forced our children, grandchildren, etc., to wear a mask, and what they did to our kids in the last 2 years. We're going after them. We're going after them. Okay, with the documentation for treason, etc. We're going after them, not honoring their oath, etc. So you want to join us? Let's kick ass. Okay. All right. Thanks. Have a good one. Okay. So let's get it moving. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Bye.